From 2008 to 2016, I lived in South Korea. After that, I ended up moving to Tokyo in Japan, but I haven't had the chance to come back and visit Seoul for almost like 7 years now. My plan is to meet and catch up with my friends, and I can't wait to explore the city and see how it's changed and grown because Seoul is such a rapidly growing city. But the one thing I know hasn't changed about Korea is that it's got some damn good eats. I'm starting with one of the least glamorous Korean dishes, but one of the closest ones to my heart. We are at a Long Tong restaurant, and Long Tong is a beef bone soup. It's made by boiling down ox bones for many, many hours, and it creates this gorgeous, milky broth. The seasoning is super simple. You just add some of the green onions at the table and make sure you add the salt and pepper. It will completely change the flavor of the broth. It suddenly just like pops with this subtle, delicious, creamy, beefy flavor. Served on the side is, of course, kimchi. We've got beichu kimchi, which is just napa cabbage kimchi, and kakdugi, which is cubed radish kimchi. I would say that the radish kimchi is a bit on the funkier fermented side. It is delicious, a little bit soft on the outside while crunchy on the inside. And the beichu kimchi, I mean, every spot in Korea has their own kind, so you have to always try it. This is one of my favorites. And of course, am I gonna go to this shop without ordering the Wong Mandu? That's right, giant steamed mandu are also popular at this location. You can put it in your soup, you can have it served on the side, but just don't miss out on it. I'd also like to mention that it is the first day I've arrived. It is the morning, and I have crawled out of my hotel and gone straight to this restaurant. And oh my gosh, I'm so happy, y'all. Oh, galbi mandu, you magical steamed parcel of deliciousness. Mapo mandu is one of the few spots, if the only spot, that I've ever seen to make galbi mandu. Now you can order off the street and take it to go, or you can head inside to sit down. Interestingly, they serve street food, which is very popular at the end of the night after a party evening. I can't believe I said that like the old person that I am. I'm hip, I'm cool, I'm with it. Taka, 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 taka. Name that movie. Now this is only a serving for one, and it looks big, but they're actually quite tiny compared to most of the sizes of mandu in Korea. I recommend getting one plate for yourself. Don't share it. It's a bad idea. That's what I did here, and we had to order another one. Sorry to stop the video, but I am so hungry watching this. I'm just gonna get a quick snack. I'm thinking Shin ramen. Okay. Okay, while that cooks, there's this really good show I wanted to recommend to you that I was watching when I was in Korea, and what the? Region blocked? Oh, just because I'm in Japan I can't watch this? Oh no. Oh no. Sashiburi, King Kogi. Don't worry, I'm here to help. I appreciate the offer, but I'm actually okay. Thanks so much for the offer, but I already own Nor. Okay, I'm gonna need 1 liter of coffee and 3 cup ramen noodles. Nobody region blocks Hacker Woman. Nobody! She seems busy. With one easy click, I'll just use NordVPN and change my country's region, and boom bam, I'm in Canada. Thank you to NordVPN, the sponsor of this video. What's awesome about this sponsorship is that I've actually been using NordVPN for years already. So when they contacted me, I was like, awesome, I would love to recommend this to my audience.
Alright, entering VR mode. If I just adjust the satellites between Japan and Canada.
So one of my favorite features about NordVPN is that it helps me with region blocked content. So What the heck is that, Martina? Well, if you live in the USA and you're coming over to Japan for vacation and you log on to try to look at some of your favorite TV shows or movies, you might be shocked to discover that they don't exist or they're region blocked. So using NordVPN, you can log on and you can change the region you're in through your IP address, and suddenly you are in America and you can watch all your favorite content that you might have been missing out on otherwise.
I'm just rerouting some electricity! I'm gonna hack the mainframe!
But it's more than just that. NordVPN has a cybersecurity feature that runs in the background and scans the dark web. This is my dark web look, you guys.
Wee, wee, wee. The Trojan horse, not very cleverly disguised.
Do you ever wonder how hackers can lock you out of your account using your password, or why identity theft happens? Well, we all sign up to sites and buy things online and use our credit card details, and they can be caught up in data leaks in which our information, our identity, our passwords are put out onto the dark web. NordVPN's dark web monitoring will alert you if you've been caught up in any of these leaks. So it will let you know your email's been used, a password's been leaked, and then that way you can change it before it's too late. I keep NordVPN running in the background even when I'm not using it for region-blocked content because it protects me from so many various cyber threats.
The Matrix! It's overloaded! Saved it!
So please check out my exclusive link, nordvpn.com/King Kogi for my exclusive discount. And it's risk-free because it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. All right, y'all, grab a snack. We're going back in.
I finished hacking the mainframe!
Now, where was I? Ah, yes, galbi mandu. I mentioned the tteokbokki here, but I have to say it is on point. The sauce is thick. It is spicy. Some street food stands don't even make tteokbokki that's as good as this place. And this is odeng, also known as omok, and it's made from a pureed white fish and mixed with flour to form like a thick paste. And then it's fried. And each day these fish cakes are put on skewers and then put into the Korean broth to like soak up all the deliciousness. I'm just so happy right now. Have I been dreaming about this particular mulnaengmyeon location for the past 7 years? Yes, I have. Located just around the corner from where the EYK studio was, I would come here at least weekly. They make the best cold noodles I have had. The vinegary, beefy broth is addictive. This place serves it with galbi on the side, which is like such a bonus treat. Now, recently I watched a Netflix documentary about mulnaengmyeon, and in it, this guy was like,
"No one should cut their mulnaengmyeon noodles. No one should cut them."
And I was like, dude, what are you even talking about? Every restaurant I've ever been to that serves mulnaengmyeon will always have a big fat pair of scissors on the table just for this purpose, because the noodles are made from buckwheat, which is quite difficult to chew with your teeth. Now on the table, the yellow sauce is going to be a very spicy mustard, and the clear sauce is going to be vinegar. You add it just to how much you enjoy it. Some people don't want it in at all, but for me, I find that it cuts perfectly through that beefy tasting broth and balances out everything to make the most refreshing, mind-blowing flavor I had ever had. If you've never tried mulnaengmyeon, I hope you give it a chance, and its spicy companion is called bibimbap, which doesn't have the broth that you see, but instead it's replaced by a thick, spicy sauce. Yes, a lot of stuff in Korea is spicy, and I love it.
Ho ho ho, EYK in the house.
I'm here in the Jongno Samga district, and let me just tell you how different this place looks from when I was here. Oh my gosh, it's like cute now. It has all these really popular trendy shops. It has a total facelift from when I was living in Korea back in my day. This area was much more traditional, old school. It's kind of like where older people would hang out, and now it's just like bustling with youth. I'm here because I would like to have some Dorset Bibimbap, which is different than just bibimbap. Bibimbap is probably one of the most popular dishes that everybody knows. It's the mixed veg on top of the rice with an egg. But what makes Dorset Bibimbap the best is it's served in a hot stone bowl, the bottom in which is coated in a sesame oil, which allows the rice to get all crispy and delicious. Now, it took me a while to figure out how to mix this because when I first lived in Korea, I would just mix it all together unceremoniously. You can see the gochujang paste is underneath it. But when you mix it all together quickly, it ends up reducing the ability for the rice at the bottom to crisp up. You want to kind of just stir it on the surface level, just mixing everything together, getting the rice mixed in, but allowing a thin area of rice to remain at the bottom to get nice and crispy. Patience is the key with this particular dish, and you will be rewarded with an amazing crispy ricey bottom. And don't worry, it's not going to get cold on you because most Korean dishes come out at a scalding hot temperature of 1,000,000 degrees. Scrape the surface of the bibimbap and push to the side of the bowl to get a little compact bite. Definitely it's going to be hot, but it's going to be worth it. You've got these delicious vegetables all mixed up with that fresh yolky egg. You've got gochujang creating a little bit of a kick, but not too much of a kick. And it goes down beautifully with a glass of soju. That's right. One shot, everybody. Enjoy. And the glorious reward for all my patience, a beautifully crispy bottom. That rice is just when you bite into it. I mean, I can't explain it. It's just satisfying and crunchy and sticky and sesame oil, and it is so delicious. Look at it in all its beautiful Dorset glory. And matching beautifully with Dorset Bibimbap is Pajan, which is a savory green onion pancake. You might also call them scallions. I love this dish so much that I learned how to make it before I left Korea so that I can make it at home on my own. And boy, do I ever make it frequently. There's just something so satisfying about using scissors to cut something up. I mean, it's brilliant, and I'm annoyed that the rest of the world doesn't use scissors as much as Korea does. So how do you eat Pajan? You just dip it in the accompanying sauce, which is a soy sauce mixed with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of hot peppers. The Pajan should be soft and crispy at the same time and just so satisfying. This meal was unbelievably fantastic. I want to go back. A trip to Korea wouldn't be complete without enjoying some Korean barbecue on the streets with your friends. Just there's something about it that makes my heart absolutely sing. I love everything about it. The crowdedness of the tables, banchan overflowing. And it's probably the best meal to accompany with soju because it helps kind of cut through the greasiness of the meat. And speaking of meat, there are a lot of different varieties and different cuts you can choose from. I think samgyeopsal is probably the most popular along with a lot of marinated meats, but I also recommend trying some different ones such as moksal, which is kind of like a pork shoulder, pork neck variety, and it's a lot leaner. Yes, of course I barbecued more than one nights in a row. I am so happy, look at me. This particular restaurant is known for its very old kimchi, and aged kimchi is especially delicious on a grill. You just plop it on and you cut it up, and oh my gosh, does it ever go beautifully with meat of all varieties. The side dishes here were also fantastic, and remember, you can always ask for free refills. That's something that they don't have at the Korean restaurants in Japan, and it breaks my heart. If I can't refill my kimchi for free, what's the frickin' point, you guys? Also, this new zero soju that came out called Zero was so delicious. I don't know what's going on and why I suffered the world of bad soju before, but I'm a happy girl now. Now, a hot summery visit to Korea would not be complete without enjoying some Korean shaved ice known as Bingsu. Now, it seems like Bingsu's been put on steroids since I was living here because this is insane. This is an entire half melon, and underneath it is actually the shaved ice. The other one was like matcha with mochi, and it comes with green tea. It was crazy. I was happy to be with all my friends because there's no way I could have eaten even one of these alone. I was searching for pat bingsu, which is the original bingsu, which is just red bean, shaved ice, and condensed milk, but I couldn't find it. So instead, I went to Felon Cole, which I was so happy was still open. There's a rotating menu, so you never quite know what you're going to find when you get there, but everything is small batch, and the owner is such a sweetheart. He speaks English, so no problem if you have questions about what's inside of them. I mean, I recommend everything on the menu, but he has an especially interesting ode to Korean flavors, including makgeolli and perilla leaf. Give him a try. Now, I do love a nice cold beer on a hot day, so we're heading to Ikseongdong and we're going to Hanok Alley. Hanoks are old traditional Korean houses, and I was delighted to see that these traditional houses are still around and they haven't been torn down, but instead are being kind of refurbished and changed and shifted a little bit to become more modern places. This place in particular is a pub. It has a mixture of food like pasta and pizza and potatoes, but also craft beer on tap. This makes me so happy because when I left Korea, the craft beer scene was just up and coming with Magpie breweries, so I was delighted to try another place. The interior of this restaurant is wacky and amazing. Big lush trees growing, there's like a disco ball on the ceiling. It has this kind of open concept feel, but it's shaded enough that you're not sitting in the blaring sun. I mean, I could have spent all day just nerding out at how cool this place looked. Absolutely delightful and refreshing on such a hot summer day. Make sure you go for an exploration and find this excellent pub while you're in the neighborhood.
That's like the best toilet I've ever seen. I want a toilet with ears on it. I know it's like a kid's toilet, but why don't our toilets have ears? It's bullshit.
So when I was living in Korea back in like 2008, I wasn't collecting vinyl at the time, and I can't say if there were or were not record bars around in Korea, but like this place is in like the Jongno Samga area, which was not known for things like trendy places such as this, with disco balls and an amazing section of records, and they serve natural wine and beer and coffee. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm just so excited at seeing how Korea has grown. After picking up a few choice records, I went for a stroll along the Cheonggicheong, something I can never quite properly pronounce, so it's going to be called the Cheonggicheong from now on, and I strolled down to Gwangjang Market. Now, Gwangjang Market is one of the most popular places for tourists to visit because it has like all the food under one location. It's like a traditional Korean market. I've actually only been here like once, just like passing by to grab some food, and I was like, you know what, now's the time. I'm technically in tourism mode, so into the market I went. I was looking for something very specific, walking around, seeing all the stuff they had. I was like, no, but I kept hunting until I found what I wanted, which was yukwae, raw Korean beef. Now, I know for some people this is going to look incredibly unappealing. We've got a raw egg yolk on top of raw beef, but I gotta tell you, it is something special. Korean beef, not imported beef, but Korean beef is quite expensive, and so yukgoe tends to be kind of a delicacy. The egg yolk is mixed on top, and underneath it is bae, which is Korean pear, and together the meat with the sesame oil and the yolk and the pear just do something amazing. I cannot express how delicious it is. And of course, no, I did not get sick. Nobody got sick. It is completely kept under a very safe condition. No one is going to get sick from this. We also ordered some bibimbap, which I mentioned before, the spicy Korean noodles, and sundae, which is kind of like a black sausage if you're from Europe. You're looking at glass noodles that are kind of soaked in a type of blood and then put inside of a sausage skin. You dip it with a little bit of spicy salt. And I know that sounds weird and unappealing, but oh my gosh, is it ever delicious. Now I confess, this is my very first time to try bulgogi inside of a mall. I'm actually on an adventure to go to Busan, which is the original city I went to when I landed in Korea in 2008, but that is for a separate video. Along the way, I stopped at one of my favorite malls and I saw that the food court has had a massive facelift. It was neat to see bulgogi on the menu because when I was living in Korea, you had to order it at a barbecue restaurant and share it with like 4 people. So it's nice to see that they have like a food court style bulgogi. Bulgogi is just beef very thinly sliced and put into a kind of sweet marinade. You can wrap it with the lettuce provided, eat it with the rice, do whatever you'd like. It's just scrumptious. I went for an all-time favorite, sundubujjigae. This is a soft tofu stew, and people who don't eat meat should be aware that it does come with seafood and often a raw egg inside of it. This piping hot shrimp is going to take me forever to peel and eat because it's just so freaking hot. Korean food tends to have 2 temperature ranges. Either it's cold or it's just freaking magma. But I'm so happy to have all these side dishes. The banchan is so fantastic to see again. And I just love sundubujjigae. I make it all the time here in Japan. Oh, we got zucchini. It's got spice. It's got heat. Did I mention that it's got heat? Because you're gonna burn yourself. So hot. It's my very last day in Seoul, and so I'm going for some serious Seoul food, and that is in the form of juk. Juk is Korean rice porridge, and I make it all the time outside of Korea now, but this one is special. This is chicken ginseng juk, and it's really quite hard to find things like ginseng and all the ingredients required to make this really taste like what I remember it in Korea. When I was sick in my first year in Korea, my coworkers bought me this big bowl of juk, and it had the ginseng and it had all these little side dishes, and I had no idea how to eat it. I remember it was like so creamy and tasty but weird, and I didn't know what was going on, but now I know all the stuff that goes into this dish, and it's just like home comfort food for me. So when you get yourself a big bowl of juk, you don't have to go for the ginseng one. You can go for just a basic beef or chicken or fish or plain, but ginseng is to me like top level, the best one you can possibly get. You can put a little bit of the spice into the bowl, mix it up. It is magma, but delicious, delicious magma.
Look at that chunk of chicken.
If you've stuck around for this long, thank you so much for coming with me on this journey back to Seoul. It was a renewing experience for me. I was so happy to see my friends again and to try all the foods that I missed so much. I mean, there is so much Korean food around the world, but it just can't compare to having Korean food in Korea from the mother sauce. Look forward to another video about Korea coming out where I go back to Busan and revisit a lot of places that are quite special in my heart. Thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video, and make sure you check out my link for a special discount. After all, you don't want hacker women coming for you. Keep keeping it cool in the King Kogi village, and I'll see you on the airship. Captain Martina out.